Hi and welcome. My name is Stephanie and we are going to be making a very simple bullet journal setup today. I have been bullet journaling for 4 years, and although I really like all that aesthetically pleasing like bullet journals that basically look like artworks that could belong in museums, I found that that just isn't for me. I simply won't fill out my bullet journal if I feel like I have to do all that work. So let me show you what has worked for me after 4 years of trial and error and working in my bullet journal. So let's get right into the video. Let's go. Woo! Hi, I guess I'll start by showing you the materials that I used. I like to use this notebook, which is basically just a dingbats notebook. I've been using the notebook from this brand for like 4 years now, and it's like my favorite bullet journal. And it's the only one I've ever tried, but I really like it. So it's like my favorite bullet journal, and this is what I typically use. I also like to use just a regular pencil. Yeah, nothing special, just to trace, you know, a pen. This one's from Muji, but you could literally use any pen, it doesn't matter. And then I have brush pens. I always like to start off the month of January with the color blue, and then I use gray to like just fill out the blank spots. And yeah, that's all you really need. It's very simple. Let's go. But I always like to make the first page like my title page. Well, here. I like to make that my title page, but I haven't done any research on what I want my title page to look. I usually look at like a Pinterest image and then I copy it basically for the year, and I will do that after because yeah, this page, so the first page that has like 2 regular pages, I like to start off with like one side and just make it a monthly gratitude page because I think it's good to look back at all the things that happen throughout the month and see what you're grateful for. I think it's a good way of practicing mindfulness, and it's cute to see what things brought joy to you during certain months of the year when looking back. That's what I do. And on my pages, I tend to just go in with the pencil. I like to go in with the pencil, and then from there I'll outline it with the pen because it's just way easier. I did this wrong. This is why we go in with the pencil first. Okay, now that I'm done outlining, this is basically how it's gonna look. I'm just gonna go in with a pen. I don't really mind if the lines aren't too straight. It's okay. As long as it looks like relatively neat, I'm usually fine with it not being extremely straight. It's just way more work to just take out a ruler when you could just freehand it. I know a lot of people make like pages where they basically put all the months of the year on it, and I did that the first year that I bullet journaled, and I was like, never again, because I never looked back at that page. I will insert like a clip of what it like looks like, and even though it's really cute, I didn't think it was worth it. So don't do that if you don't like it or feel like you'll never look back at it, because although it was cute, I just never used the page. Like when it comes to bullet journaling, of course it's different for everyone, like different things work for different people. And it's just like a matter of finding what you really like doing and what you don't, and that just comes with practice, honestly. Because there might be things that I make that you don't like, which is okay. Now that I have that, I like to go in with my brush pen and just like, how did I do it last year? Well, I just make like a line through it like this, because if I put the brush pen over this specific pen, the pen will bleed. Like if I write with the pen first, then do the brush pen. Just make sure to do this. I just labeled the months however I felt like it. And then at the top, can you see? Yes, you can see. Just gonna write lovely. It just makes it a little prettier. You honestly, you don't need to do it if you don't want to, but it's just nicer to look at. Then I put a little line on each side, and ta-da! This is the monthly gratitude page. Very cute. On this page right here, I like to make a resolutions page, which I know isn't for everyone, but I like making one. It's always fun to look back at this page at the end of the year and see what you got done, what you didn't got done. Woo! And then I'll just make a little that goes all the way around. I'll make it like the same size as this one, just so it looks neater. And then we're pretty much gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna go in with our brush pen again. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Ooh! I always say it's okay if it's not perfect, but deep down in my heart, I do not practice what I preach. It's okay, it's not that bad. Okay, resolutions. I never fill out this whole page. It's like a pretty big space for resolutions, but like at the bottom on the part it didn't fill out, I like to like do a little reflection, I guess, because sometimes you like complete part of a resolution, which is still counts for something because it's further than you were when you started like a year ago. So sometimes it's like I completed half a resolution and I'm still okay with that. Like for example, my goal this year was to read 50 books. And I read like over 30, which was more than what I read last year. And I'm totally fine with that. Because my aim isn't to read to like get to a certain number. It's kind of read to like feel personal fulfillment. And I felt fulfilled enough, so I was fine with that. You could start your bullet journal wherever, whenever you want. Like if you end up watching this in like the middle of summer and you want to start a bullet journal, just start it. It's better sooner than later, trust me. We are really good at procrastinating. Our brains will do like anything to make sure we don't get things done. Let us go. And this is the first page of the bullet journal. It's very simple, very nice, very cute. On to the next. Okay, on this next page, you could personalize it to how it fits best for you, but I read a lot, so I always like to make a book reading tracker. So I could keep tabs of all the books I read over the year. Ta-da! Okay. Down here I like to make a little travel tracker. Even if like I don't have any travel plans for the year, I try to think it into existence. So the travel tracker always gets written down. And that is the travel tracker section. Ta-da! And on this side, I like to make a bunch of random little things. At this top part right here, I like to make a little box called Big Dreams, No Pressure. And I basically put like all like my really big aspirations for the year, like as big as they are, with like no fear, no pressure of like anyone looking at them, just things I really, really want to happen. I put it down on paper, and if it happens, great, and if it doesn't, that's okay. It's just a place to like clear out your head, I guess, and like a place that you could actually see your thoughts that you really want to happen. And it's nice having it up front because I can look at it whenever I feel like it, I guess, throughout the year. And that is the section. Next, down here, last year made like a habit implementer section here, but I ended up just never looking back at it, so I'm not doing that again. Instead, I'm gonna do like a remember me section, which is basically gonna be a very cheesy section because I'm just gonna put like lessons or like random self-care things that are pretty obvious, but you always have to remind yourself, like, I don't know, don't be too hard on yourself. Get a sufficient amount of sleep. Drink enough water. Things that are very, very obvious, but harder in practice. On this side, I'm gonna make it a manifestation thing. Say what you want about manifestation, but I will get clear skin, and my skin cleared this year. It was the first time I wrote that, and I think I actually manifested that among other things. I'm gonna keep this manifestation, please. Oh, I wrote it too big. Because I think it works. I'll show you guys this when it's done. Ta-da! We have the spread. Let me bring this up a little bit. Yes, this is the overall spread. It's a very cheesy spread, but it's okay to be a little cheesy sometimes if it makes you happy. And this is about it for like the yearly setup portion of it. From here on out, I'm just gonna be doing like my January bullet journal setup, and it is also very simple. So let's get into it. Well, I'm just gonna do the boxes now. I always do it like pretty much the same, so I kind of have it memorized. 1, 2, 3. We go 10. Then over here, I'm just gonna write in like the days of the week. And then I like to make a little goals like section right here, just for the month. And then we're gonna highlight everything with the blue color we've been using this entire time. Kind of make this page look a little more lively. Then I just like to put a line going all the way to the other side, just so there's like way more going on visually, because the spread is really simple. And I highlight goals over here. And then for like this month starts on a Sunday, like the first day of the month. I'm gonna fill out each day with the little blue where I'm gonna put the date. And then with like the leftover like boxes, I just go in with this gray, kind of mark it out just so it's not completely blank. Then we'll outline everything again. That's pretty much it for like the January month spread. And then lastly, I just like to make little hearts on the line. And voila, that is the January spread. Very simple, very cute. At least it is in my opinion. And for this spread, I just kind of mark out birthdays and important dates that come out throughout the month. Make goals for the month, and yeah, it's just nice little reference point. After this is when I start to do like my weekly setup. I'm gonna take out the pencil again. I do this pretty often, so I always also have like this kind of memorized in my head. It's very boring, this area, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably like one of the lesser cuter parts, but since I fill this out every week, I want to keep it as simple as possible because I get pretty busy, especially with school, and then if I'm working, that also adds another layer. After I have all the lines, I like just to go in with my brush pen again. So I could start labeling the days of the week. I like to start my weeks off on a Monday, so for each day of the week I just put the first letter. I like setting it up like this because I have like basically my weekdays on one side and then my weekend on the other. And then I leave this blank space here just to write any random notes and tasks that I need to like get done at some point during the week and like not on a certain day specifically. And this week starts on a Monday, which is the 2nd. And I'm gonna just add the first over here. I know it looks a little crazy, but gets the job done. It's alright. I'll just put S for Sunday because this year did start on a Sunday. Then up here, we're gonna do more of the same thing, you know, outlining with the brush pen and going in with the pen. And I like to make the line just to make it a little less boring, you know. The last step for this page is to just go in, and that is it. This is my weekly spread for January. I basically repeat this every week of every month of the year just because I find it to be like really practical, really simple, and it's really quick to do and just repeat. And yeah, I'm just gonna do that for all the rest of the other pages and I'll get back to you. So after I've written all the weeks, like for the month, I like to make like a little section in the back called a brain dump. And I basically just put any random thoughts that pop into my head that I'd like to remember. Just leave them here. Like, it's like really random. Yeah, and then the rest is just blank. Then over here on the other side, I like to make a little habit tracker area. And then under it, I usually just make like a box with like 31 little boxes in it. It's basically like a grid. That's essentially what I do, and then I write the habit I want to implement at the top of it, but I haven't figured out the habits that I want to implement yet, so we will do that after. And then this is what this spread ends up looking like. It's very simple once again. And then this is the last spread that I like to do. I basically like make like a monthly reflection page. So this will say January reflection on it. And I just kind of look back at the month, I guess, and make a little summary of what went well, what didn't. Just, you know, reflect, basically, and just kind of decompress everything that happened to you throughout those 30-ish days. Ta-da! That is it for this January reflection side. I really like the reflections because I do try to journal, but, you know, life gets busy. And then you end up just not journaling, so it's nice to have like a designated time at least once a month just to kind of clear out my head. And then on this side, I like to make basically a little like, it's like a deeper reflection page. Let me make it and you'll see. Give me a second. Okay, so this is what I end up doing on this side. I kind of like break down the reflection process into like smaller chunks. I like to look at like what went well, my achievements for the month, and then after that I look at what didn't go well and improvements, because a lot of the times I like make notice of like things that didn't go well throughout the month, and then I won't figure out how to fix that problem. So here's a good place to like figure out what went wrong and what I could change so that it's not as big as a problem or not a problem at all in the month to come. Then lastly, I have a little memorable moments section because I don't know, I like to like capture things that made me really happy, I guess. or like stuck with me throughout the month, because you'd be surprised how much you just forget. Like, I look back at these things and I'm like, oh, I forgot that even happened. I'm glad I wrote it down. But yeah, that is it for this spread and for the month. When the next month starts, I just go straight and make another calendar. I don't make like a whole February like simple page. I used to do that, but I found it like it wasn't as useful as I thought it should be. But yeah, that is it. I could give you guys one last little flip through my bullet journal since you stayed here so long. So this is the title page. I'll insert the final image of it. Then we have our monthly gratitude section and our resolutions. We have the books I read and travel tracker, which you guys could change to whatever you want. I have my big dreams, no pressure, remember me, manifestation, my calendar, and then each week of the month, which is pretty much a lot of the same thing. Then we have brain dump, habit tracker, and the little monthly reflection area, and that is it. If you made it this far into the video, thank you so very, very much. I hope that we had a good time together. I had a good time. I don't know about you, but that is it. I will see you in the next one. Bye.